Hello and welcome back. My name's Adam Gary and I'm a poet mistakenly accused of living in a shed. Today I'm here to tell you about a fun little exercise called Blackout Poetry. It's really simple, really easy and really fun, and is really good especially if you find yourself creatively blocked. So let's get started. If you've ever sat at your desk knowing that your mind has something it wants to get down on paper, but you're all blocked up and can't seem to get it out, Blackout Poetry is here to save the day, my friends. In recent years it's become incredibly popular, so all you Insta poets, pay attention. And to be honest, it's such a fun and stress-free exercise that everyone should give it a go anyway. Of course, before we get started, if you like this video or find it informative, or if you've learned anything from my previous videos, please do hit subscribe and turn on notifications too. That's the little bell next to the button. Also hit like as well. It only takes a few seconds and it helps the channel out massively. Just by hitting that one little fun button, it helps the channel grow, and we're already growing pretty fast. So I'm on track to hit my first target of 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, that's enough of that. Grab yourself a marker and some text and let's go. Right, so first thing is first. Grab yourself a piece of text that you're happy to deface. I've chosen this particular newspaper because this is trash and not journalism. Hashtag justice for Johnny, if you know, you know. And also this, because I've been sitting on a fun idea that I want to use this for. But more on that a little later on. Not in this video, but I mean a little further on in the future. Another video will be made on that. I should have just said but more on that another time. That's what I've got written in the script, but I am a failure. Once you've got your text and a marker, traditionally thick permanent marker, but you can choose whichever marker or whichever tool you want for this exercise. I just lost my marker. Right, once you've got everything you need, just jump straight in. Don't think too much about it. If you're doing this as a blockage exercise, I hate that word now, then just be brave. Start circling words that speak out to you because your brain naturally tries to make connections. So as you go along, even though it feels like you're just circling random words, by the end of it your brain would have made a connection with each word and it will make sense. All you really have to do is just trust the process and give into it completely. So let me show you what I mean. I'm blurring the text here until I have my poem because I wouldn't dare subject you all to this bullshit. I'm just sorry I gave them my money by purchasing this for the video. So we've got a really small bit of text here. I don't know if you can see me doing this. It's all trash. I picked this showbiz page because I figured I'd try and find some art, regardless of this. Okay, when you're doing this with such small text, maybe a massive marker isn't great. Okay, so once you've done that, you literally just blur out the text around it. Again, as I said at the start of the video, it's important not to think too much because it's just meant to be a fun exercise. At least at this stage, it's just a fun exercise that gets the creative juices flowing, I guess. You got to be really careful not to accidentally mark in the words that you want to use. So don't get too comfortable and complacent with your marking, because you will accidentally lose some words if you're not careful. And there you have it. I have a Blackout poem that I made from a trashy article about Love Island stars. I will now read the poem. Beauty fuming woman, suspicions split, denied instincts insist, intimidated. Again, you know, it's not the best, but it's just designed to kind of help you out. I'm repeating myself now. Beauty fuming woman, suspicions split, denied, instincts insists. No, wait. I'll read that again. Beauty fuming woman, suspicions split, denied instincts insist, intimidated. Of course, there is a more thought out way of doing it if you decide that you want to become somewhat of a blackout poetry expert. All you do is take a piece of text, which I'm going to start my little project with this collection. Take a piece of text, circle. I probably won't use a permanent marker for this, I'll just use a biro. But you are going to need another sheet of paper by your side. And what you do is, instead of straight away circling the words, you make a note of them on a piece of paper. And then at the end, you take all your words and you see if you can make a poem that doesn't necessarily have to use the words in correlated order. Is that the right saying? I don't know, I'm in a really mood. I'm in a really weird mood. Anyway, I hope that made sense. So, let me break it down again. Take a piece of paper, find the words that speak to you. Instead of circling them and the poem being in order of which you circled them, write them on a piece of paper and then go from there. You can either rearrange the words, which might be kind of fun, or not. Basically, what this allows you to do is, if you change your mind on the words that you circled, instead of having circled them in permanent marker the first time round, which means then you have to use those words, you write them down here and you see if there's a good enough poem. If not, you can read the text again and find different words and different poems. I really hope that made sense. I tend not to make sense most of the time, but let me show you what I mean. So I've picked this poem at random from Gabby Hanna's collection, and I'm just going to start writing down. Oops, you can't see. Let me move over a bit. This is awkward. Oh look, you can see my hairy legs. I'm just going to start writing down the words that speak to me. So another thing to keep in mind is you don't have to use just one word. You can use sentences or a combination of words. For example, count the stars. That's fine. You can do that. Okay, this was a bad example of finding words and going in different orders, because I actually really like this. What I got. The text that if you've seen my review on this collection, you'll know that most of the poems that I had a problem with were really short. So I picked one that's longer, obviously, for this exercise. And I'm not sure that I'm really saying something that's different than what the original poet is saying. But who knows, maybe people will like it. So again, now we just circle the words that we like. Again, this was a bad example of what I was trying to show you, because I actually liked the poem that came out in the order. And that's normal, that will usually happen, because you're usually going to pick up sort of the mood or the story that the original writer had to say, unless you're doing a newspaper article, probably not, especially if it's the Sun, because that doesn't have anything good to say. Anyway, I'm going to quickly speed this up. So that one took a little bit more time to black out. I gave up in the end, making it nice and neat, as you can see towards the end. So let me read this one out for you. Sunset sky, birth and death. Never stopped, never tried. Count the stars, solar eclipse. Shapes in clouds, I don't give a damn. I mean, it is what it is, you know? So that is Blackout Poetry. If you've been inspired enough to write your own Blackout Poetry, please leave them down in the comments below. I'd really like to read what you come up with and see some examples of your work. Once again, my name's Adam Gary, and this shed is not my house. Please hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, you know what to do by now, and let's get to that 1,000 subs.